Oh, okay. You do that every time we start something. You have to open it with, like, you just finished drinking something.
Welcome back, Sheepay Pew aficionados.
And welcome to whatever I'm gonna decide to call this. I have a couple of ideas lined up, but I'm not entirely happy with all of them. So it might like hit me, like I might snap in my head, like, oh shit, that'd be perfect. So I'm not gonna commit to anything. It might be called Dimwit to discuss. I liked yours though, Nathan. What was yours again?
Mine was Unqualified Commentary.
That's not bad either. Alright, well, either way, welcome to episode 1 of whatever it is we decide to call this. I am Connor, and that's, if he wants to introduce himself.
I am Nathan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Handle pending.
If this is your first time hearing us, we are just some dudes who watch movies and play video games a little too much. Actually, not enough in my case. I want to play more video games than I get time for these days.
And he wants to read more, and he wants a real life, and he wants a real boy, and he wants a real nose.
I don't want a real boy. I don't want to be a real boy. Real boys have to pay taxes and go to work, and that shit sucks. But yeah, on the first actually, I should just quickly say I have a drink with me. I have a can of Mother. Twisted apple flavor, or as the Joker would have called it, apple flavor.
Apple flavor.
And yeah, so the other day, you and I and a couple buddies, we went to the cinema and we finally saw the Mortal Kombat movie.
You mean finally saw? It was only out for like 4 days. So.
Yeah, but everybody in the world seems to see shit the day it comes out these days. You know what I mean? Like, I you don't go on Twitter, but I do, and it's like everybody's already seen it by the time I get there.
Just stay off Twitter.
Yeah, but Twitter's fun. It is hard. It's like that train wreck you can't turn away from. There's just too much going on. It's like, holy shit, the carriage is on fire, and there's people fighting atop the little chimney bit of the train. You know, the trains don't have chimneys anymore. Is that a thing?
It depends on the train, I think. Some trains do. Some make a point of being old and gross and decrepit and smelly.
I think the Gone might still have one. Oh wait, no.
It's the Gone, not the Gone.
No, it's the Gone with a G, isn't it?
Oh shit, it is the Gone.
I was about to say, yeah, no, it is the Gone.
Yeah, well, it's not powerful enough to be called the Con.
The Shao Kahn. Nice. Thank you.
Let's go.
Alrighty, well, yeah.
Reference.
Yeah,
to the movie.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn wasn't in it.
Shao Kahn. Well, he was. Well, references to him were. Which I think is that, look, you don't want to overbear the movie too much. Which, by the way, we will be going into spoilers because, fuck you. If you don't want to be look, here's the thing. I wouldn't mind trying to skirt around the, like, any spoilery stuff. It would be kind of annoying, but I'd be happy to do it. But Nathan can't keep it in his goddamn pants. Anyone that doesn't know him know this. He will spoil things for you. It's what he does. He feeds on misery. He's quite like Shang Tsung in that manner. He sucks souls, sometimes through spoiler straws.
Instead of your soul, it's your mild pleasure of being surprised.
I do like being surprised. Yeah, I managed to see it pretty much spoiler free.
I didn't bother looking at any spoilers because I figured there's no way this movie is going to have a plot that I give a fuck about.
You say that, but you told me the day before we'd seen the film that you'd watched, like, a fight scene. This is one of the...
yeah, no, I watched, like... Yeah, that was literally the first 6 minutes of the movie. I watched that.
Well, you didn't know that, though.
No, it said first, like, opening, scene of the movie.
Oh, is it like what they did with The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Where they show off the only good 11 minutes in that whole movie, so people think it's a movie that might be worth seeing.
Well, I don't think the opening 6 minutes was the only good part of the movie.
No, I was more referring to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, though.
Yes.
Because that's the first time I recall, like, anybody ever releasing just a full cut, like, part of the movie as advertising.
Yeah.
But yeah, But yeah, no. So yeah, it opens with it's like 1617, I think it was, in Japan, and Scorpion's off being a family man. His name's Hanzo.
17th century Japan.
Hell yeah.
The Lin Kuei assassins, led by Bi-Han.
Bi-Han. Get it right.
No.
Bi-Han. I prefer it. I like Bi-Han better. I've always said it Bi-Han, so I'm not gonna change just because the movie changed. Not to mention some of the games call him Bi-Han, so fuck you. But yeah, so it starts off with very predictably, but you know, it's okay. It's okay that it's predictable. It's the first 6 minutes. Scorpion's with his family, and then his family gets fucking eye stabbed. Although for some reason this continuity's version of Sub-Zero is the pretentious little scrote, because he seems to always want to set his victims up in sort of like an artistic interpretation of their final moments every single time.
He's the photographing villain of Evil Within, and also who was the other guy that did that? Leaving your victims
Memento?
in ice sculptures is actually it's one of those, look, it's only happened 3 times, but it's weird that it's happened 3 times, to be honest.
That was, I haven't seen Memento, but that's what that was about, right?
Maybe.
Nah, maybe, it doesn't, you don't watch movies, why am I asking you?
No. That's why I'm unqualified.
But yeah, honestly, I think it was a good intro to the movie. I really enjoyed that fight. The people that they did, I'm a bit confused as to what, because he's tending his garden initially, and it's that's where he ties the knife part of his rope spear to a rope that he finds in the garden, and that knife is just sitting there. I think it's meant to be a gardening trowel or something. But
I was a bit confused because I'm just I saw she was gardening with the kunai, and I'm like, why are you gardening with a kunai? Because I'm in my head, I know damn well that he's gonna tie a rope to that thing because that is his kunai. But at the same time, I'm you don't garden with those.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be an ornamental trowel that he kind of improvises into a kunai. But that's the thing. If that thing's a trowel, that trowel was designed to stab cunts at the end of a rope because it was too perfect.
Oh wait, no shit. Never mind. A kunai is a Japanese tool thought to be originally derived from the masonry trowel.
Oh shit! Well, would you look at that?
So it actually is a gardening tool.
Holy shit! We thought the movie was being stupid, but it turns out.
Wait a minute! We're unqualified to give this commentary?
Oh fuck! That's gotta be the name now. God damn it! Shit. Okay. Well, let's discuss. Will be something else then.
Damn, that means airport security commonly confiscate gardening tools.
Do they commonly confiscate kunais?
Yes, they commonly confiscate kunais. No racism.
Racism? Who the fuck is carrying white, black, Japanese, Hispanic, no matter what you are? Who's carrying around kunai these days?
Oh, come on. You know how those weebs are.
Yeah, but they don't travel.
They go to Japan.
Yeah, once, and then when they get there...
They come back with a kunai.
Yeah, they come... I think they order their kunais in. I think the weebs...
They get confiscated then.
I think the kind of weeb that's gonna own a kunai and pretend like they know how to use it is also the kind of weeb to go to Japan, realize that people in Japan actually can be quite social, and get intimidated and never go back again. But always talk about how much he enjoyed it. Now look at us being judgmental after having fucking gone out and watched the Mortal Kombat movie.
Look at us trying to recover after getting owned by a masonry tool.
But yeah, no, that was a good scene. And I feel like it's the one scene that didn't have this problem that I felt like a lot of the other fight scenes had throughout the movie, where the fight choreography was just a little bit awkward. You know what I mean?
It felt like in the fights where they didn't seem to have it didn't seem to have I don't want to call it a narrative hook, but something interesting going on, something unique about that fight. They seem to overblow it with the cuts.
Yeah, it was very cutty. Yeah,
it wasn't always very cutty. Especially that opening scene was pretty good.
I wouldn't be surprised if that opening scene was the fight that had the most money spent on it.
Or at least the most time into the choreography.
Yeah,
because then a lot of the other scenes is just either someone gets punched once, knocked back, and they just, like, basically just bat each other around like fucking ping pong balls, or, like, you see lots of quick punches, but they're, like, upon impact you get a cut, so it just kind of feels like you're watching people flailing their arms around.
I remember before, the hours before I left to go see the film, I rewatched the knife scene from John Wick 3. And I remember saying to myself, if we can just get one fight in the movie that's like maybe not as good as this, but like somewhere close to this in terms of choreography, I think I'll be happy. And I think the first fight does come close to that. Like, it is a very clean fight. Scorpion gets some like fun, gory hits, and I particularly like the one where he like punches that guy into the back just to force him into the ground faster. That's shit like that's always fun. Like unnecessary shit like that's always fun. It tends. You know, I almost wasn't expecting to see it just because Ed Boon is so fervent about Scorpion being better than Sub-Zero in every depiction. But Sub-Zero wins the first fight with a murder. He manages to murder good old Scorpion. And obviously he gets sent to hell, and then all his shit happens. And then we just cut to some guy. And when I say some guy, I really do mean some guy.
We cut to the Liu Kang bait.
Yeah. So this is a guy called Cole, and he's like fighting someone in like a socially sanctioned environment. I think it's like a boxing.
It's like an MMA thing.
Yeah. And he's presented to us as Cole. And see, the previous scene, it shows that Raiden, after Scorpion gets killed, he like just appears, because of course it's like Raiden to appear as soon as he's not needed anymore and everything's already fucked.
But he's reverse Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, no, he's literally the anti Deus Ex Machina. But yeah, and there's a baby that Sub-Zero forgot to murder, because he actually forgets to murder a lot of people in this movie, which was kind of annoying at moments, but that's fine. And Raiden takes the baby, and then he pisses off, and it cuts to this guy, and we think, oh, okay, so this is like some. So in this because he looks Japanese, he looks Asian, so you think, oh, in this continuity, Liu Kang is related in some way to Scorpion, like he's a far descendant of Scorpion. That's an interesting way to take the narrative. And then you keep going, and then Liu Kang just kind of shows up. And honestly, I kind of love it. I kind of love that Liu Kang is just like, yeah, I'm here and I'm a badass. I don't need to explain myself. You know who I am. Because
there's a little bit that happens in between before he shows up.
Oh yeah.
There's 4 characters we meet.
Yeah, no, I was gonna get to that, but I just wanted to say that he's not Liu Kang, even though you think he's Liu Kang. You think he's Liu Kang for like the first third of the film.
The film kind of baits you into thinking that like, you know, like it's gonna be like, you know, the what's it called? Like, purely because it's, like, the setup of it, like, leading into the scenes, it's like, oh, he's this great fighter, he's retired, though, but then he's like, oh, I've got this, like, they make a point to show in one of the fight scenes that he's got, like, the mark of, like, you know, the Mortal Kombat,
yeah.
So, like, this has to be him, like.
Particularly because that is, Liu Kang's, like, signature move, is turning into the big dragon and eating cunts, but then Jax is like, hey, arsehole, you're not special, I got one of those too, and yeah, he has one of those too. But they, you know, they justify it as ways like that being the mark of the people who are invited to the tournament. But you still think it's Liu Kang specifically because this is the protagonist. He's like clearly the guy we're following now.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So they keep going. Some Sub-Zero shows up and he's like this big intimidating. Fuck you! I'll murder you with ice. So, Liu Kang pisses off while Jax fights him, and that doesn't go well for Jax, as is probably obvious from the trailer. But yeah, that fight was okay. A lot of the Sub-Zero fights, they intentionally make them take place in, like, a really darkly lit room. So it's not hard to tell what's going on, but it's not as cathartic as some of the other fights in the movie. But
they make all of the fights take place in the Mr. Freeze boss fight room, but with the lights turned off.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's pretty cathartic to see Sub-Zero fight because, like, you know, ice powers are cool, and he actually stabs cunts with it.
There's a really good bit where he freezes he freezes Scorpion's blood and he uses that as a sword. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. There's a lot of bits where it's like you think they're about to reference the game, though, like where Sub-Zero makes that... excuse me. It makes that giant ice wall, and you think, oh, he's going to throw this guy at it and he's going to get impaled. But no, he just smashed straight through it, which is not how the ice magic works in the goddamn game. Because if this was the goddamn game, Scorpion would have been impaled through the eyeball, through the heart, through the legs, and then it would have melted, and then he would have gotten up like nothing ever happened, and it would have been pure Mortal Kombat buffoonery, and I would have loved it. But that's
straight up, not gonna lie, I thought Cole was just gonna straight up die in that point, and then it'd be like, alright, Scorpion's now your daddy.
See, I know that Ed Boon wants that. That man loves Scorpion, and I don't particularly get why he has it out for Sub-Zero so much. Because I'm okay with Sub-Zero being a bad guy. I'm okay with that. But, you know, Scorpion's always gonna be the most badass character in the fucking movie. It's weird. But yeah. Yeah, so then he meets up after that, and Jax is, like, just in a warehouse somewhere. Sub-Zero doesn't kill him, because of course he doesn't. We go back to Cole, and he's found the military base person, who's Sonya, because obviously. And Sonya goes to some fucking trailer trash park somewhere, where she's keeping, like, for some reason she decided to hide the best character in the movie from the rest of the universe, but he escapes, and thank God, because if he didn't, this movie would have gone from, like, a 6 to a 4. Because Kano is, without a doubt, the best thing in the movie.
Sonya, knowing damn well how much Kano was about to steal every scene she's in, attempts to hide Kano from the rest of the movie and plot.
But you cannot hide Kano, for he has a red glowy eye, and it's hard to hide glowy red eyes in the dark, because it just makes it...
Thankfully, Kano being the absolute fucking show stealer that he is, breaks out and does a fight with an invisible reptile who just kind of shows up to get killed.
Yeah, no, that was kind of weird. The reptile just showed up, and like, because they give him an announcement, which like really briefly before they send him.
Like, bring in reptile.
I think the reptilian reptile is how they phrase it, which is a little redundant.
Reptilian reptile. You want to know a fun fact? If you control F reptile on the Mortal Kombat movie wiki, he gets one hit, and it's right at the very bottom for external links relating to other Mortal Kombat characters.
Nice.
He's not actually mentioned in the plot part. It's that much of a... That fight is so much of a just... We should probably put a fight here.
Well, it's weird. That fight was the first one that made me go, okay. Because, first of all, Reptile's invisible for, like, the first chunk of it. Which, I mean, you know that they're gonna find a way to make him not invisible and, like, actually have it be a fight. But, like, for the first part, it's just kind of annoying. And you're waiting for the fight to get good. And Kano gets out with some of the, like, his blood, like, is dripping from somewhere. And he, like, cuts off, his handcuffs, makes a joke or something. And then, I think Kano, like, fire extinguishes him or something. What does he do to make him not invisible anymore?
The flare.
Yeah, the flare, that's right. Yeah, he spikes him with a flare. And then they reveal that the reptile in this continuity really is just a big lizard. Because he is standing on his hind legs, but he's not humanoid, which I thought was a weird choice, personally.
It goes from, like, just the copy, paste ninja to he's actually just not even a ninja anymore.
He's just a big fuck-off lizard. Which I think the fun of Reptile has always been the fact that, like, he looks kind of human, but he really does have the face of a big dumb lizard, and it's fun. But yeah, no, so, Kano rips his heart out, and he says something funny.
Says Kano wins.
Kano wins, that's right, yeah. Oh, it's hard to explain how much more charisma Kano has over everyone else in the movie. Like, literally every scene that Kano is in, the scene is just people reacting to Kano shenanigans. I don't think a single...
They're trying to explain. Do you remember when they're in, like, you know, the big temple? The monk, the Shaolin, like, monk temple thing. And
yeah, after that, they go to the temple,
they're explaining all the powers and, like, the stakes of the universe. And, like, it feels like in the script, every second line of exposition, Kano has to just say something.
Yeah, because otherwise
even if it's
boring.
just calling someone a wanker.
He just
has to say something.
You know, he does drop a lot of Australian lingo, but it doesn't get as bad as that one line that I'll never forget from Fury Road. You know the line.
Yeah, the schmeg.
No, not just schmeg. She follows it up with something else as well.
Yeah, I know. But it's an unrepeatable line.
But yeah.
It's an unrepeatable line. Can't say that.
Can't just say that. It's racist. But yeah, so, yeah, then once they kill Reptile, Sonya and Cole and Kano, they're teaming up, which is honestly, you never really see that, which was kind of novel. And they go to visit, like, the temple. It should also be pointed out that Sonya doesn't have a mark for whatever reason, and Kano does, which is interesting. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. They, the people that are, like, marked for the tournament, if they get killed by someone else, that the person inherits their mark, and I guess Kano murders quite a lot, so he just happened to stumble upon it.
Yeah.
But he seems to take that in his stride, because he doesn't seem very perturbed by the fact that, like,
it's basically a death sentence.
Well, not a death sentence per se, but, like, how well he does here may determine whether or not humanity gets to keep on going. He doesn't seem to care, and I kind of like that, because even if I did own, like, a big drug ring, I probably would be like, okay, there's some big war going on here, and if I don't help, like, Australia might not exist anymore, and I like Australia. I should probably, do a bit and try to help where I can. But Kano's just like, yeah, I want to fight cunts, so I'm just gonna, fuck it, I'll just go. Oh, and money. I think Sonya offers him some money as well.
It was like $3 million or something.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't have.
Oh, yeah, it's Sonya. Soldiers don't make that much. They only make that much if they lose a bit. Which is sad, true. But, But yeah, so they meet Raiden, they meet Liu Kang, they meet Kung Lao, and they're fighting, and they're fucking... and then a bunch of cunts turn up, but then Raiden's like, I'm gonna do my one useful thing that I'm allowed to do for the movie, and he puts up a giant force field, so the bad guys can't get to them yet. And I should point out that for the bad guys, they did get some, like, some winners in terms of MK characters. You got Melina, who's awesome. You got, Cabal, who I think his inclusion in this movie is kind of weird, but, like, Cabal's fun, so I understand. Then you get some fucking duds as well. You got Reiko, who I actually forgot was a character that existed until after I'd seen the movie and then Googled him again. I remember he was in Deadly Alliance.
Yes.
And Natara, who hasn't been in a Mortal Kombat game since the PS2 era games.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, oh god, why would they put these characters in? Until you realize that they're just fatality fodder. And I'm okay with that, because I like to think that there's just one person out there who really loves Natara. It's like, yes! Finally! My Batgirl lady is back, and she's gonna be in the games now, because this is gonna make her cool, and people are gonna want to play her. Oh, would you look at that? Kung Lao's head has gone through her skull 20 minutes after being introduced to her. Honestly, those are probably the highlights of the movie, where just some of the deaths were really fun.
When they did the game fatalities, those were like, he did the thing.
Yeah, among the three most memorable are probably Kung Lao's hat. He does the one from MK9. But instead of dragging from the legs, it was dragging from the head first, so
she flies into it. She, like, crashes into it.
Yeah, that's right.
It seemed a bit more... like, explosive that way, a bit more violent.
Well, yeah, but MK9's a little immature, so they had to go for the crotch shot first, so I think it suits that game more.
Yeah, that's fair.
You also got Liu Kang's turns into a dragon, eats a cunt. I don't even remember who he eats with that move.
Cabal.
Was it Cabal? Was it Cabal?
It was Cabal.
Yes, no, you're right.
Remember? Then he says flawless. He says fatality. Then for Kung Lao, because Kung Lao gets sucked off.
Yeah, but he gets sucked off by Shang Tsung, so I don't even know why he says this. And you're right, it was Cabal, because I remember immediately thinking afterwards, probably would have been a bit more thematic for the character if this was how he got burned, instead of he's just now been burned on 2 separate occasions, and just completely coincidentally. I don't know how much time a human in their life spends around fire, but I think if you've been burned all over your entire body once, you're probably going to avoid it enough that it's never going to happen again. But,
what's it called? He pointed out that it was Kano that fucked him over as well, and then him and Kano end up working together, which are like, it's predictable because it's fucking Kano. He's not a good person, but like, why even like bother like burning him again then? Like,
they actually do this a bit better in the games where like. It's usually Kano's fault that Cabal gets burned, but they always, like, have Kano, like, underhandedly, like, try to trick Cabal into thinking it was someone else. Like, they did that in 11, where he said it was Johnny Cage who did it. Where it's like, yeah, Johnny Cage is a bit of a twat, so that kind of, I'd accept that. But yeah, and I should also say that before they do get to the murders, while they're training, they, the way that they kind of explain the powers of some of the characters is that, like, every, person with a mark has, like, their Kano, I think is what they call it, which is, like, their innate ability, which they can unlock if they prove themselves in some way. So, this kind of makes sense for stuff like, Liu Kang being able to throw fireballs, and, what have you, but that's also how they explain how Jax gets his robot arms. That's how they explain how Kano gets his laser eye instead of, just metal work, which is really weird. It's a really odd choice, and I think it just ends up fucking making it so the movie doesn't have to bother making those moments feel earned. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of just get their powers when they need to for the plot to work.
Literally, like, there's a bit where, what's his name? The worst part of, like, Jax has metal arms, and then his arcana is his metal arms just get bigger.
Yeah, no, because, when we first see Jax after, like, he gets his arms cut off, he's got these, like, shitty little fucking, like, twig prosthetics, which were fucking hilarious, by the way. And I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I was crossing my fingers that they were gonna stay like that the whole movie, because that would have been the funniest fucking thing if we got to see him fight, like, Scorpion or something with those shitty goddamn twig arms.
Honestly, they could have made a joke out of it, of just, like, his metal arms just keep getting cut off. Just every engagement is in, they just rip off the arms until eventually he's like, alright, I need something a little bigger.
They could say, like, they could have Jax be like, oh man, today is not my day. Have him drop, like, a Jax line. Because as it stands, I don't think the guy that they got to play Jax looks very much like Jax, to be honest. Like, he's a big black guy, but, like, I don't know, he's not as stocky as Jax usually is in the games, I guess.
He's not bad enough to be Jax, you know what I mean? Like, he ain't got the arms for it.
Yeah.
Jax had an arse.
Oh, she bad, that Frost?
She kinda bad, though.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no.
Never forget. Never.
But yeah, no, and Kano gets his laser. I actually like how Kano gets his, though, because he doesn't unlock his Kana through fighting. He gets his Kana just through being really fucking, like, aggro at Kung Lao and Liu Kang, who are, like, calling him a twat and what have you. He's just like, fuck you twinks! And then he just has a laser eye. He's like, holy shit, that was awesome. And, yeah, seeing Kano happy makes me happy. Which, by the way, I'm Googling him now, because I don't know the actor's name, but that actor deserves I don't know if he deserves an Academy Award. I don't think they give Academy Awards for the sort of, like, for that kind of performance, but I think that kind of performance needs to be given some kind of award, like Diamond in the Rough Award, you know what I mean, of just the one good thing in something that's like not very good.
The Razzies shouldn't just be a roast. It should be a celebration of the people who tried their hardest.
Yeah, but no, that's the thing. He tried his hardest and it was good. Like,
yeah.
it's only he stands out because everybody else is so lifeless. He has almost every joke in the movie. Although, having said that, I think the best joke in the movie he's a part of, but it's not like something he does per se. The best joke in the movie is the sweep one. And if you haven't seen it, I would suggest that you look. Scrub Quotes actually did a bit like where they just quoted Kano what he said, and then just posted the scene, which is funny because that's like an actual Scrub quote in real time. But yeah, no, I like that joke because it doesn't just track as a joke in and of itself. It tracks as a joke that would work in the context of fighting games as well, because it's essentially a bait. Like, that's how baits in actual fighting games work. Like, oh, you just gonna do the same move 3 times in a row? No, actually, I'm gonna bait the third one, make you think like you've figured me out, and then get you again. Have you ever done that before?
Maybe.
I've done it.
I can't remember.
My favorite thing to do in Mortal Kombat 11 is play Jax, and he's got 2 moves. He's got his back 4, which is a little sweep, and he's got his back 2, which is like a head bonk, and they're both really fast. So basically what I do is I back 4, like, because the sweep, obviously, it beats their standing block, but the bonk beats their crouching block. So I just keep alternating between the two. It's like, oh, I figured you out. Oh, shit, no, I haven't. Oh, I figured you out. Oh, shit, no, I haven't. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He's gotten me 4 times in a row with the same alternation. And it's fucking great. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Nothing more satisfying than getting some guy with the same move 3 times in a row. Nothing more satisfying. But yeah, no. So, yeah, once all that's out of the way and they've trained a little bit, Cole gets sent away because he's acting too much like a dipshit. And then Goro attacks his family. And I know it sounds like I'm bringing that up with no fanfare, but I'm kind of doing that because the movie was doing that.
Yeah.
You were the most disappointed by that, actually.
Okay, so Goro appears technically 3 times, but I don't really want to count the third, because they don't even mention how any of the society of Outworld or any of that works.
Like the Shokan,
it's just, yeah, they just show a big statue of Goro. That's the first time you see him. So obviously Mortal Kombat fans are like, okay, he's coming, hopefully.
I mean, we all
saw Shao Kahn, but,
everyone knew Goro was coming. It's like, oh yeah, shit, there's the first representation of him.
Then they're like, what is his name again?
Shang Tsung?
Yeah, Shang Tsung's like, Goro, we've got you. And they show, the shadow of him walking through a door, so you're like, oh, here he comes.
Also, important thing that they point out that in this continuity, he's a prince. He's Prince Goro.
Yeah. And then, he shows up, is fed to the original OC, do not steal character, and just gets killed. That's it. That's literally it.
Now, the thing that's kind of sad to me about this is that at first I thought, oh man, they really did Goro dirty. And then someone pointed out to me that, literally Goro is just the meat punishment. In every continuity he's in, he's always the guy that has to die. But at least in the original Mortal Kombat movie, he got to have a bit of personality and character. Because in this, he really just shows up to fucking try to murder people and fail. He doesn't even murder a child. There's a child right in front of him, and he doesn't even murder it. What are you doing?
He cannot kill. My guy actually gets hit by just, some random mum. She just pulls up with an actual axe and fucking gets a good swing in, and, he gets a hit in, I guess, but he just doesn't...
Well, he
backhands to die. They treat him like a Natara.
Yeah... But
they actually treat him like Natara.
They're slightly more fanfare, yeah. But yeah, no, if you watch the original movie, he gets killed by Johnny Cage in that as well, and Johnny Cage doesn't even have powers. But he's there throughout the whole movie. He has several conversations. The puppetry is actually really impressive. Like, the puppetry for Goro in Mortal Kombat, the original, is way more impressive than the CGI that they used for modern Mortal Kombat. Like, it might be, like, more practical to use the CGI and you can do more stuff with that, but watching the original and looking at Goro, like, exist in that universe is... It's so much more interesting to look at, because it's like, holy shit, he's there. He's there. Like, I can feel him in the universe. And he's, like, saying things. He's arguing with Kano, and it's fun. I like Goro in the original. He makes jokes. I mean, yeah, they're kind of mean-spirited jokes, but that's the point.
Does he actually have, like, because they've credited his voice in, like, the wiki, but I don't remember Goro saying anything.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, no, he didn't. He might. I think it's literally.
He has
just...
some grunts, but
yeah,
like that's it.
Also, your fucking boyfriend had a friend who,
yes,
apparently was in the movie because they did some filming in South Australia. That's where we happen to be from. So apparently he was meant to get ripped in half by Goro. But they cut that. And that's so fucking baffling to me, because Goro doesn't kill anyone in this movie. So what did they cut? What else did they cut?
Okay, so the first half of the movie, honestly, is like, it's just kind of mediocre. But the second half of the movie actually feels like a fucking Frankenstein. Like, the pacing of the movie goes from just like amateur... Like, it's like, oh yeah, you get your point across, blah blah blah, you know, you could have cut some shit there, that's fine. But then it just fucking goes into overdrive. Yeah. I'm just like, they have 2 lines in, and then boom, next scene, something huge is happening.
They have the middle act, like fall, that, like, in a typical 3-act structure happens, of, like, the good guys, they get poked at. Like, Kung Lao fucking dies, Raiden sends everyone away. They have to run away because the bad guys are overwhelming them. And it's like, literally immediately after, immediately, everyone who needs their powers gets them. Like, literally Jax, with a line of explanation.
Needs to pick up a big rock. Yeah. He needs to pick up a big rock to save Sonya, so his arms just get bigger to pick up the big rock.
And it's like, before Liu Kang can even fucking mourn his essentially brother's death, like he's always the cousin. They always call them cousins, but you know, it's a brother-like relationship. They just have different names. Before they even have time for that, Cole's just like, hey, I've got powers now, which, by the way, is literally just me having kind of a hard suit thing and some dumb Baraka blades that don't even come out of my hands, so they're not as cool. Yeah, I'm the leader now, and you're gonna go fight him, you're gonna fight him, and we're gonna fight these 2, and that's what we're gonna do. And they just immediately cut to that. And they
just have Raiden basically speed up the rest of the plot. They just teleport everyone to where they need to be.
It doesn't feel earned, because, like, literally 10 minutes, like, Reiko shows up, he's beating the shit out of people, and, like, literally 10 minutes later in the movie, Jax just handles him no problem. And the same goes for every other bad guy. The bad guys, they get in their punches, they kill a motherfucker, and then 10 minutes later, they've somehow learned whatever lesson they need to learn to just handle them no problem. And then Sub-Zero shows up, which, I mean, Sub-Zero, we always knew he was going to be, like, the final showdown.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so he teleports Cole to a different room that's filled with ice, again, and he kidnaps his family, which... Again, it's weird that Sub-Zero feels the need to kidnap people and not murder them sometimes. It's weird that he does that. And yeah, they fight, and then Scorpion shows up in, like, his actual Scorpion outfit now.
Just teleports into the fight.
He says his line.
Raiden didn't do it. He just wanted to be there.
I mean, Scorpion can teleport. Like, he has hell powers, so of course he can teleport. Yeah, but yeah, he shows up. He gets his line. I'm not even gonna, not gonna even fucking acknowledge what it is, because you know what it is. He comes in, he shows up, he fucking stabs him, and then they both fight. It's a Cole and Scorpion versus Sub-Zero fight. And the good guys win. And it's a pretty good fight. Like, I tease and I make fun, but it was an okay fight. I still think I prefer the first fight in the movie, because it was cleaner. But it's nice to see them in costume, because they weren't in costume in the first fight.
No. The first fight, it's like, they just straight up just look like they're from the 17th century.
I should say, actually, that the costume design's pretty good, I think.
They give, what's his name, Cole, they just give him a physical hyper armor.
Except Cole. Cole looks fucking weird. And I should say, when it's revealed that Cole isn't Liu Kang, I thought he was Takeda. Because he was kind of filling that same role in the plot as being, like, vaguely connected to Scorpion and being, like, a young new kid on the block.
I thought he was gonna become Scorpion. When Raiden gave him the kunai, I thought, oh, this is it, he's gonna become Scorpion, but then Scorpion just shows up.
No, I think that's a bit, honestly, I think it's a bit foolish on your behalf, because, like, Scorpion, like, after he dies in the first part of the movie, he, like, fires into the ground. So it's like, they're just doing Scorpion like normal. He's gonna get the hell powers, he's gonna come up, and he's gonna do Scorpion things. And he does do Scorpion things. He takes off his mask, and his face becomes a skull, and he fires a cunt to death. And that was cool. It was cool to see that. I think the most interesting thing about the end of the movie, though, is the fact that it's baiting a sequel. Which I don't know if I was expecting or not. Because I wouldn't mind seeing... Look, we've been kind of teasing the movie, but honestly, I think overall the movie's fun. Like, it's got some annoying elements, but it's fun.
Like, I'm glad I went into it drunk.
You were drunk, actually.
I'm glad I went into the movie drunk. That's all I'm gonna say.
I went into it tipsy.
But you know what's funny is the main director of the movie specifically banned the word sequel when he was making the movie. He banned the word sequel from the set.
See, that's...
Because he wanted to make his own movie, but that movie just feels like it wants to be a trilogy.
Well, yeah, because it fucking makes reference to the tournament constantly. Like,
That doesn't happen.
No, and it doesn't happen. And I'm happy that it didn't happen, because I'm so goddamn sick of the fucking tournament. The best Mortal Kombat stories have always been the weird shit that they come up with after the tournament. I still would say Mortal Kombat 10 has the best story of any Mortal Kombat game. And it's got nothing to do with any of the tournament at all. It's like, it just becomes about, like, outworld politics and what have you, and like and you know, new characters proving themselves, and it's fun. It's fun. But you can't tell me that this wasn't building to something, because it was. They said you're gonna fight in the tournament. You gotta fight in the tournament. It's gonna be weird now that Kung Lao's dead that he's not gonna be in the tournament. So he's always at the tournament, the motherfucker. I'm glad that they did have the balls to kill people, but like, I like Kung Lao. I would have liked to have seen him in the sequel. I guess you can't have two Shaolin monks sharing the same screen.
No.
And like, if you're gonna kill one, it can't be the Fireball Dragon guy, because people like...
I mean, I personally would have killed Cole, but I guess my opinion doesn't really matter.
Well, Cole's not a fucking... He's not a Shaolin monk. He's just a dude. Shaolin monks are interesting. Dudes are not. He's just an MMA dude. But yeah, the pacing is very weird. Like, up until then, it literally just been exposition, fight, little bits of exposition, fight, longer section of exposition, and like a training montage, fight, and then literally just 1 minute of, okay, these are the fights that we're going to do, and then just a big fucking, like, really quick short fights leading into one big fight. It's a very weird way that they handled it, but it was fun, and I enjoyed my time. I still think I prefer the original Mortal Kombat, though, just because it was goofy. But if you're 12 and you need blood and decapitations and what have you, well then, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah. It is fun.
I'm kind of a bit annoyed, actually, because this wiki has reminded me of something where I remember getting excited for this because James Wan was meant to be involved, and he's one of the producers for it, but he's not the director. And I actually think, given what Aquaman was, I think that style could have done pretty well for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, if they spend more time in Outworld, actually, you know, the more interesting sections.
Yeah, and it's like the costumes of Aquaman were good, and I think they could have been, you know, just as good with what's it called? Like they were pretty good with Mortal Kombat, but that's like they didn't like they weren't like looking fresh.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I wasn't blown away. Yeah,
no, that's fair. I still think that like the Mortal Kombat universe probably would work better in a TV show format. Just because there's so much.
There's a bit too much.
Like, and it's okay to keep the characters shallow, because honestly they should be. It's Mortal Kombat. The plot and the lore is dumb.
They may die soon anyway, so...
Exactly, yeah. But I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a negative experience, but at the same time, I don't think... If the end of this review series was like, would you get a ticket for it again? Nah, not really.
I mean, I very rarely go to see a movie twice at the cinema, but
yeah,
I know that I'm quite alone in that. Which,
like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it just wasn't that good.
Which just to end this review segment as well, I just would like to say something that I made a rule last year that whenever I go to the movies, like from now on, whenever I see a movie and go to the cinemas, it has to be a movie that I'd be okay with saying is the last film I ever saw in a cinema. Because after COVID, I was skeptical towards the continuation of cinemas as a thing. I think now we're probably safe to say that they're probably going to stick around a little longer. But still, I think that's a good rule to have. However, most people are probably going to hear that and assume that that means that I'm probably going to see a lot less movies at the cinema. I actually think, on the contrary, it's going to make me see more movies, because I don't go to the cinema very often, and if a movie comes out that sounds funny to say this was the last film I ever saw in the movies, I'm probably going to go out of my way to see it. I can't wait for Venom 2. And you better believe that a Venom 2 unqualified commentary is
and I'm going to be drunk for that one too.
Yeah, for both the movie and the review segment.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not going to give Mortal Kombat a review score, because I don't believe in that sort of dumb bullshit. I'll give it 2 Jack's arms out of 5. No, What about you, Nathan? Are you going to give review scores at the ends of these?
I give a fireballs off for pussies out of 10.
Jesus Christ, you have such a way with words.
That's Kano's words, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you remember that one? I got a laser! Look at you and your pussy fireballs.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, pussies. But yeah, now, before we go, I just want to say to anyone that's new here, howdy. We do a couple things on this channel. Well, sometimes we try to output as much stuff as we can. I'm working on a little bit of I'm working on a little bit of 2 big projects right now that I want to hopefully get done, at least within a month or 2. But we'll see. Otherwise, we're on Twitch. I'll put the links in the description. To anybody that does know us and has stuck around this long and knows who we are, howdy. Sorry that it's been so long since anything we've done, but you know, kind of life gets in the way sometimes. As you probably know, life can be annoying, and we're trying to find whatever time we can to do stuff. And we thought this would be like a good way to, you know, keep in touch with you guys. Just little reviews, nothing to. Although, having said that, this went a bit longer than I was expecting it to go, but that's okay.
That's fine.
That's fine. It wouldn't be What's All This then if it wasn't needlessly prolonged.
If it wasn't actually just not under control at all.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll probably do more of these. There's actually a couple that I've already got in mind that I think you and me should talk about on camera at some point,
okay.
Which I'll tell you about afterwards. I don't want to spoil anything. But, yeah, so this was, I guess we're going to go with Unqualified Commentary.
Unqualified Commentary.
I like that as a title. That's Nathan, you can take credit for that one. That was yours.
Woo! I peaked really bad there.
You did. I saw it. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Alright, well, like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb bullshit that I have to say at the end of these, apparently, because that's part of the culture now. Final thoughts, Nathan?
I'll see you next time for hopefully not Venom 2, because I hope we do another one of these before that point.
God.
That's all. I was gonna say that's all, folks, but no, I can't say that one. That's all, idiots.
That's all, turds in the wind.
Oh no, I don't like that one.